Are you tired of looking for Eagle Rare? Or when you do find it, it's really marked up? Even though they're producing more, it's still pretty hard to find. So I'm going to give you 6 Eagle Rare alternatives. Let's go. Welcome back to Old Fashioned Ways. I'm Doc Martinez, and today I'm going to give you 6 alternatives to Eagle Rare. Now, Eagle Rare does have a special place in my heart. It is one of the first bourbons that I ever drank that got me into this whiskey rabbit hole. I was lucky enough to be hanging out with somebody. They wanted to share a pour with me, and at that point, I had not really had a pour that I could drink neat and enjoy. But I'm never rude. I took that drink and I kind of just talked with them for a moment, kind of just swiveled it around, took a few smells, and then I was like, all right, let me take a sip. He's taking a sip. I need to do one too. Took a sip and I was like, ooh, wow. Okay, that's different. That's different. And then I took another sip. I was like, ooh, this is something I can enjoy. I might need to look into this more. So that was my first journey into sipping whiskey neat, or sipping a bourbon neat that I actually enjoyed. Even though I don't sip on this too much anymore, it's still something that's very close to my heart. I know they're producing more, but it's still hard to find at times. So I'm going to give you 6 good alternatives that you could possibly find on the shelves and not have to hunt this one down. Before we do that, let's talk a little bit about this, but I haven't had a pour this in a while, so let me give myself a little pour and we'll talk a little bit about this. It smells pretty sweet. So Eagle Rare Bourbon uses Buffalo Trace's mash bill number 1, which means it's a low rye mash bill with less than 10% rye. Eagle Rare is a Kentucky straight bourbon. It's aged for at least 10 years in New Chart American oak. The thing is, not all of them have that 10 year anymore, so does that mean it's not 10 years? That's a question for another day, but yeah, it's in recent years you see some with 10 years and some without. It is bottled at 90 proof. It is an allocated spirit, meaning stores receive a limited number of the bottles. MSRP on this is about $50. It used to be a single barrel, but the way that they do it now is they dump one barrel fill and then dump another, and they don't clean in between, so they don't use that single barrel anymore. But overall, it's still pretty much a single barrel. It smells very grapey. Yep, brings back some memories for sure. All right, first on this list, I'm gonna say Buffalo Trace. It shares the same mash bill. It's about a $30 bottle. It's not aged as much, but it's probably something a little bit easier to find. And since it shares that mash bill, have some similar qualities. If you wanted to, you can always put this in a barrel or even the wood spirals to age a little bit. And it'll probably get even closer to this and even less expensive. But this is my first alternative to Eagle Rare. Next is probably one that's a little bit harder to find, but for some reason right now, it seems to be everywhere in my area. And that is E.H. Taylor Small Batch. Similar mash bill. Comes from the same distillery. I like this. I think this is such a great pour. It's a bottle and bond, so it's 100 proof, so it's a little bit more proof and it has a little bit more flavor. I feel like these E.H. Taylors are just a great bourbon to taste. I would recommend, if you do see these for MSRP, grab one of these, and I think it competes very well with Eagle Rare. Another one will be Evan Williams Bottle and Bond. It is close in proof, being at 100. Flavors are somewhat similar. And this would be one fun to kind of blind one against the other and see which one I like more, because I haven't had this one in a long time. Good thing about this is on the shelf everywhere, easy to grab. So if you can't find that, try this one. The next on my list is one I kind of have forgotten about, but this one is Russell's 10 year. Age 10 years like the Eagle Rare is supposed to be. Lots of flavor, always on the shelf. A lot of people pass this up, and I have forgotten about it as well. But last year I was at an event. This was their only option they really had as a pour. So I wanted a pour, grabbed it, and I was like, oh yeah, this is something worth trying again. So very good pour, easy to find, 10-year age statement, great price for this as well. Next on my list is Redwood Empire Lost Monarch. Now, proof is very similar. This is a burr rye, meaning it's a bourbon and a rye. Lots of good flavor. Actually, a very excellent pour. The cask strength in this one are a little bit different. A lot of people like the cask strength more, and a lot of people like this one more. I'm a cask strength person. I like that one a little bit more, but this one is such a great pour, and for its price and the fact that you can find it everywhere, I feel like it competes with the Eagle Rare pretty good. All right, last on my list is Maker's 46. Now this one is 94 proof, so just 4 proofs higher. It's a nice bourbon whiskey, barrel finish with oak staves. adds a little bit of flavor, a little bit of sweetness. And the reason that this one's on my list, I feel like this is one of those that for some, like, this one got me into drinking bourbon. It's an easy drinker. It has some flavor, and it's something for somebody who doesn't drink a lot of bourbon or drink a lot of neat. Easy to get into, and their palate can enjoy it without burning them. So the Maker's 46, I feel, is the same way. And by adding that stave in there, it actually makes it a little bit sweeter. So the first time you're drinking, if you're a new time drinker, I feel like this is one that's easy to sip on without, blowing out your palate, but has a little bit extra sweetness to it as well. Once again, easy to find on the shelf. It's pretty much everywhere you go. So these are my 6 alternatives to Eagle Rare. What do you think? Do you think these are pretty close? Do you think they compare? Do you think there's something on this list I forgot? And if I did, put it in the comments below. I'd like to go back and look at that. It's always fun to see what you like to find and what you think would compare to this as well. Well, my friends, thank you for joining me on another journey down my whiskey rabbit hole. I hope this helped you. Hope you get to try some of these alternatives, and especially if you can't find Eagle Rare. And hope you get to try some new whiskeys as well. Till our next journey, my friends, cheers.